it's Hipster George Washington. Welcome back to Hipster Code. So I wanted to go over using ChatGPT with your Unreal Engine projects and a way that I go about using it. So I've been watching several videos from different creators. I'll link a couple in the description or in the card here so that you can go and check them out, of different sorts of AI agents to help you with your blueprint code, because as good as a lot of the AI generative code is with ChatGPT and Midjourney and Suno or whatever you're using for your creative projects, we're not at the point where you can just like type a prompt and be like, hey, give me a video game that's The Witcher 4. You can't like do that quite yet. So we're still coding video games very similarly to the way that we did a year or two ago. I don't think it's going to be like that forever, and I am completely not against AI. That being said, I just haven't delved too deeply into any of the AI tools for Unreal Engine, specifically Unreal Engine Blueprint Code, yet. I hear that they're not great at this point in time. That being said, as far as debugging, I use ChatGPT all the time. How do you use it with Blueprint Code? Well, honestly, and you don't have to do this with just Blueprint Code, honestly. You could do it with anything in life. Is like, people don't realize that ChatGPT has like an image reader, an OCR type of code under the hood. You can give it images, and it's usually pretty good at figuring out what you're sending it and like what the image contains, including text. So let's say that we have a third-person character here, and I want to click tab, and then tab in the top left corner is supposed to give me a number, but I want the number to increase every time that I click it. But you see, it's still always 1. So let's go and look at my code. You can tell here we click tab, we print the string, we take our number integer that starts at 0, we add 1, and then we print it, but then it's only ever 1. Now, obviously, this is a very easy debug situation where you and I would be like, well, you still have to set the variable. Let's pretend that we don't know that right now, and I want to go to ChatGPT and have it help me debug this very specific situation. You can take a screenshot, and so I always use this snip tool here. I think it's default on Windows 10. I assume Windows 11, I'm not really sure. And what you can do is you can click new, and it doesn't actually have to save the image onto your desktop or anywhere. So you can actually keep it here in the program. You can copy it. You can bring over your ChatGPT. Now, I have ChatGPT like Pro or whatever. I pay $20 a month for it. But because I'm using the Pro version, I'm going to use the extended thinking, so it's going to take an extra few seconds to think about it. But you can simply just paste that image in, and then you can give it your prompt. And I could say something like, here is my Unreal Engine 5.6 why is it broken? And then, I'm just going to make it be concise here so that we don't have too much verbose explanation. Please be concise and explain in a few sentences or less. Thanks! I always say thank you to the AI overlords, because whenever they take over, I want them to remember me as the one who treated them really well. Like that episode of Rick and Morty where Morty treated his dog really well and Jerry didn't, and so Morty got treated really well whenever the dogs took over the world. Okay, so we're gonna let it think for a second, and what it's gonna do, and you can usually, with the extended thinking, I think it's gonna explain what it's doing here. It just says thinking. Yeah, so see, it's like cropping out the blueprint code. It's actually reading the text on there. It's usually pretty good at realizing what the nodes are. Here's the thing though, there isn't a lot of like behind the scenes knowledge that ChatGPT has about Unreal Engine code. So I have had to do a little bit of hallucination. I've had to do a lot of where it tries to use old engine code. I've had a lot of where it tries to give me C++ code. And so you have to really steer it in the right direction. And I found that it isn't always perfect at describing the code accurately if you're doing a more complex problem, or if you're doing a newer version of Unreal that may have new nodes or different nodes. But something simple like this, I think it's going to be able to help us very quickly. So it says, because you're getting the number 1, adding 1, and printing the result. You never set my number to the new value, so the variable stays the same every time. So you see here, and then we can add set my number, and then I go, oh, okay. Oh, so I have to go here. I have to set the number. Then we're gonna print this out every time. We're gonna take the output, plug it in there. Obviously, you and I know that this was an easy problem to solve, and so I gave it the easiest problem to solve, but this is simply just to show the process of going about giving it screenshots and then debugging it with concepts and words and ideas. And so if you say, oh, okay, thank you, how do I go about setting my number? I'm new, please explain very, very briefly, and pretend you are talking to an 8th grader who doesn't know Unreal Engine well yet. Okay, so the left side, you grab my number, you drag it in. This is exactly what I did. You take the output from this and you plug it into this. See, it just explains step by step exactly what to do. So this is my ramble about how you can actually use ChatGPT to help do some debugging. So just like take all this with a grain of salt. I think it's gonna get a lot better here in the next couple of years, and eventually, sometime 20 years in the future, hopefully we'll be at the point where we could say, give me Elder Scrolls 7, and then you generate a prompt and then you give it 30 minutes, and then you come back and you have your video game ready to go. We're nowhere near that yet, so it behooves you, if you want to be a game developer, to understand the concepts of your code, understand what's going on, and remember, you always have it there to use, not to generate the game for you, but to do the hard labor for you and to do the research and questions for you. So ChatGPT, you can always go there and be like, okay, I don't understand this concept. Could you please explain it in a way that makes sense to me? So, and also a lot of people don't realize that you can use the snipping tool and you don't even have to save it. So I always use the snipping tool, but it can actually take the image, interpret the image, and then it can give you advice that way, which I think is super cool and super useful. So hopefully you found this video useful as well. I'm Hipster George Washington. Thanks for watching Hipster Codes. We'll see you in the next video.